So I am pleased to inform everyone that Seattle has been liberated. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, otherwise known as CHAZ, I think they switched their name to CHOP, but I'm told they went back to CHAZ, was a failed 4-week Democrat experiment by the radical left, and the results are in. Anarchy is anti-American. Law and order is essential. Peace in our streets will be secured. While the Democrat mayor of Seattle proclaimed that CHAZ was to be, quote, the summer of love, in fact, it was not. And other failed Democrat politicians also remained passive or even silent in the face of anarchy. But while that happened, President Trump set the tone. Law and order must prevail to preserve peace in our streets. The president is not the Democrat governor of the state of Washington. The president is not the Democrat mayor of Seattle. But nevertheless, the president must lead by example and be prepared to act in the face of failed Democrat leadership, which is what we saw in Democrat Seattle and Democrat Wisconsin. President Trump has always stood on the side of law and order, and we are pleased to report that law and order has prevailed and Seattle has been liberated from the anarchists. In President Trump's America, autonomous zones will have no sanctuary. The BAZ, B-H-A-Z, which stood for the Black House Autonomous Zone across from the White House, was swiftly dismantled. 100 anarchists were arrested for rioting and destruction of federal property here in D.C. I believe that number is now above 300. 4 men have been charged in federal court for attempting to tear down the statue of Andrew Jackson in Lafayette Square, and there are 200 open domestic terrorism investigations. You contrast the president's vision of law and order to that of the failed CHAZ experiment and anarchy. And here's what you find in the failed Democrat experiment that took place out in Seattle. The Seattle Times said the shooting at Seattle's CHOP protest tragically killed a 16-year-old boy, leaving a 14-year-old seriously injured. That's what happens in an autonomous zone. The police chief, Carmen Best, who did a marvelous job winding down the CHOP zone, noted that CHOP has become lawless and brutal and enough is enough, and she took action. According to reports, quote, police also investigated several vehicles circling the CHOP zone with people inside carrying firearms and wearing body armor. This was no, quote, summer of love, as the Democrat mayor in Seattle said. And President Trump compelled action. He has said, take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will. He has said this is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stopped immediately, move fast. And finally, the Democrat mayor in Seattle, who was long delayed, finally gave the order to dismantle the CHAZ, and it was an admission. It was an admission that President Trump's vision is right, that anarchy is wrong, and that law and order bring peace.